Welcome back to the More in Common podcast, where we anchor humanity in compassionate conversation. This is producer Ruf here, back again at the end of a season to mark an incredible journey. All these episodes, all this time, all these amazing conversations. Now, with that being said, this entire season has been all about discovery. We've learned about ourselves, we've learned about our guest, and hopefully you've learned about yourself as well too. Now, moving forward, I will say this. I definitely find myself at times relaying so much more with the guest than the average person, because I'm always looking for intelligence, I'm always looking for knowledge, I'm always looking to gain something from each one of these conversations. And that's why we always like to hear from you. So don't hesitate to contact us, to reach out, communicate with us, and just hang out on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. We have a bunch of content on YouTube for you guys as well too. We're working on a Snapchat. With that being said, this entire season, the culmination of it has been a whirlwind of events. We've had therapists on, we've had attorneys on, we've had actors, we've had creators, we've had artists. But I like to put everything in a nice, neat bow to sum up the entire season. And putting that together and letting everybody know what we've done is an honor. And honestly, I am very excited to let you guys hear what we've put together, essentially. So we've got a couple of rapid fire questions. There's 10 questions that we usually ask our guests at the start of every episode, just to get them comfortable, kind of like a baseline test. And since this season is all about discovery, we've worked on a couple things, which, by the way...
So before we get into this episode, I got to tell you a little bit of something that Rodney got me into about 7 months ago. One of those things, like, he talks about these things all the time, and I hardly ever try them. But this one in particular, Audible for audiobook listening. Like, I tell you, I love reading books. I don't have a lot of time. I got 2 kids, 2 jobs. I got, a relationship that I try to invest in, but I really like to read books. And there's a lot of information out there that helps us learn for our business, learn for podcasting, learn for all of the things, or just pleasure in reading. And it gives me that space to listen. So Rodney, thank you for putting me onto them, because I'm excited to put other people onto it too.
Yo, man, glad I could help. I love it. I've been doing it for years. I highly recommend it.
And I know you do it for driving. And
yeah, I do it for driving in LA. And honestly, you get to get one book for free. You can send a book to a friend for free. You can return any book if you don't like it. I mean, that's lovely. And they got a trial period going on. You get a free membership to start. So we're gonna put a link on our website. Go check it out. It's an affiliate link. We do get a little bit on the back end, so you're supporting us. We would really appreciate it. Go to our website, moreincommonpod.com. Check it out.
Check it out. Audible.
We're just going to jump right into it.
Number 1, justice.
Social.
Number...
This the first word that comes into my head?
No, that's right. No, you've got the game, but the next question, the next
number
one
2,
is...
social justice.
Amen.
I like it. This is good. See, this is a game. This is the game I like. It's fun.
Social justice.
Yeah. Oh, social justice. I went last week I was a chaperone for my daughter's 5th grade class. And we went to the Broad Museum downtown, and we were looking at some Barbara Kruger, which granted was pretty advanced for a bunch of 5th graders.
Start them young.
It was for the 9th grade track, and for some reason the 5th graders got to see it. But there was this beautiful piece from the 80s that she did that is like huge down there, and it says, "Your body is a battleground," and it's a woman's face, like in black and white, and it's clearly like a glam photo from like a fashion magazine,
Mm-hmm.
and one half is like, it's divided in half. It's like this one half from like a magazine, like from an advertisement from like a 50s magazine, like perfect face, like perfect makeup. And then the other half is like an X-ray image of it.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the red, in that beautiful font, it says, "Your body is a battleground." And, it's clearly about reproductive rights.
Issues, right? Yeah.
Rights. And just to hear these fifth graders talk about not knowing exactly what it was about, but to hear them try to explain what it was pretty deep from their perspective. And then just to stand above it as a 46-year-old woman and think about how clearly it's still so unfortunately fucking relevant today. Just that statement,
Mm-hmm.
your body is a battleground, that your own body is political. Everybody's own body is political.
Yeah.
Is such a deep
Who was
statement.
it? Who's
Barbara Kruger, Kruger. She's also the one. This is also interesting. That font is also been kind of people think of it now as when they think of Supreme.
Mm-hmm.
But it was hers first.
Yeah.
It's that red with that white.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Supreme. Yeah.
But it's
if you saw
hers.
it, you recognize it. Yeah.
And she kind of let them have it.
Really.
And it's this woman's work. And then Supreme kind of like took it. They sued somebody else for using it. And then she finally raised her hand and was like, "Oh, fuck no." But wait a minute. You're not going to sue somebody else.
Yeah.
And
Why?
then she lost. So interesting. Anyway, she's incredible, and she's an LA artist, and she's done some remarkable work. But Barbara Kruger should not ever be forgotten.
If you were a tree, what tree would you be?
Redwood.
Super quick. Is that because you're up in the Bay Area, or why?
Yeah. Close. My family, we used to go to reggae festivals together, and we would stay in Hendy Woods, which is this regional park they have up there, and there was a lot of redwood trees. And for us, that was just like a majestic experience and part of California that it's just big for me and big for my immediate family.
Do you have any tips for navigating difficult conversations?
Honesty is key. Honesty and not holding back and listening. That's very important. And not interrupting.
You mentioned the chefing. You brought up chefing, and earlier you said before we started this interview, you said some stuff about eating with people. So I'm just curious, what does breaking bread with people mean to you?
Oh my God! So when I went to Peru, I went to live in Peru, and I didn't speak almost any Spanish. I just spoke a tiny little bit, and I lived in Callao, which is just outside of Lima. It's their fishing port. So, and I worked in a couple restaurants there in Miraflores, which is like Miami for them. Beautiful fucking country. Their produce there is mind-bogglingly beautiful, like mind-bogglingly beautiful. Pineapples are the size of watermelons, and they cost about 10 cents American. And they're delicious, super delicious pineapples. So what it sort of did, like when you say breaking bread with them, is I was hired as a sous chef in a restaurant where I couldn't even speak any of the language to anyone. So I could not tell them what I needed them to do, but I could show them. And because cooking is domination, eating is submission. So when you're cooking, when you're making a dish, you dominate the plate, your knife, your cutting board, the sauce that you're making. Everything has to be symbiotic. Everything has to be well controlled. This just becomes your world. But other people who understand that world can look at that and totally get what you're doing and because they're part of that world. We can't speak the same language, and it's not like we're going to be able to have a conversation. But this we speak, this we understand. And I know there's like restrictions in religion. Obviously, if you're Orthodox, you don't eat pork. If you're Hindu, you don't eat beef. And there's all kinds of other variations. And that's fine. Choice is a choice. But we can get down on some really badass vegetables. And there's no question about that. Vegetables are phenomenal, and everyone all over the world eats them. So to me, that's always like, this is the best way to get to know someone. Is people think it's over a pint. I think it's over food. Especially like as a chef, when you get the greatest compliment in the planet is when someone says to you, wow, this reminds me just of my, and then fill in the blank, reminds me of my mother's soup, or my grandmother used to make this, or like this is my grandfather's favorite thing, or oh my God, we used to make this when I was a kid. When you invoke that sort of emotion out of someone, like that's a very visceral feeling. Like you turn them back into a little 5-year-old sitting at the table with their legs hanging off the chair, like eating something, like, wow, this is so comforting. That's the most amazing thing, because that's a hardcore memory that triggers an emotion of instant happiness. And that's one of the best compliments you could be given as a chef. And I think it's very true with all of us.
It's you said it right before the idea of what cooking does for you is it's a great way to connect because we can agree on one thing. And it's funny because it's come up in quite a handful of our podcasts, just the idea of breaking bread, right? And it's a fascinating thing since that Thanksgiving dinner is often used as the analogy. Well, we're not going to talk about this. It's Thanksgiving dinner. When in American culture, especially, right? When it really is an opportunity to sit down and say, we all love this meal. We all love each other. Let's talk, right? About whatever it may be. And really changing that paradigm culturally to say, hey, we're here for a meal, not to get wasted and talk about this stuff, because, that's really going to go well. But to talk over a meal. And I love the way you break it down. I love the way you break it down with a passion, that it's like, yeah, I need to eat more with people. Like, that's how I feel right now. I need to go have dinner with somebody that I don't agree with and enjoy that, It's I love the passion that you have, and I think it's great. I think it's a great perspective.
I think what keeps me going primarily is knowing that what I study, which is listening, has so many beneficial consequences or outcomes, from helping to mitigate loneliness and the associated chronic illnesses like depression. It also keeps me going that I'm not very good at it oftentimes. And so I want to, look inward first and be a better husband, be a better parent. So knowing that I can always get better and I can use the advice that I'm often giving others, I think that keeps me going. But really just being a better person in general.
What's your favorite thing to tell or ask a young person?
Mine is always, if you forgot about what other people think about you, if you're not worried about other people judging you, what would you really want to do? Like, what are you really passionate about, regardless of other people's opinion? Yeah, mine's pretty similar. It'd be like, what's your vision for your life? Like, what do you want your ideal life to be like?
Sorry, I'm just writing this down.
Mm-hmm. Column notes are harder.
No, this is good.
What's your favorite thing to tell or ask a young person?
Tell them that they can do almost anything. But I try to have them be reasonable. I'm like, you can do more than what you see, more than what you know. You know. Kids from my neighborhood ask me, like, you a lawyer? I'm like, yes. How are you a lawyer? I'm like, can you read? Can you write? Can you apply reasoning? You can be a lawyer. But just trying to simplify things and make them understand you can do almost anything you want to do if you remove the distractions and the obstacles. That's kind of what more or less gets in anyone's way.
What are you interested in right now?
Oh man, what am I not interested in? I'm really interested in kind of my job, anxiety, personal growth. I'm really diving into like the holistic approach to mental health meds and the whole how like your gut health and what you eat is impacting depression and anxiety. I'm kind of nerding out on that a little bit right now.
So, once again, thank you guys so much for listening to us this entire season 2. It's been our pleasure to bring you this content and to talk about discovery. Matter of fact, discovery. Yeah, I figured I'd add that in there since it was pretty cool first time. I just want to let you guys know that putting these conversations together, and I might pause like I'm talking, it's my best Christopher Walken impression. I will say this, that the conversations coming up are going to be insightful, life-changing, and we're going to do our best to make sure that you guys take whatever you can from it. So thank you so much. Also, big, huge thank you to all the essential workers out there, from the medical workers to the grocery shops. Thank you so much. This has been a hard time for everybody, but we know we can count on you guys. This is Producer Ruf, and we'll see you guys in season 3. Peace.